Okay, so here we are. These are the original 8 solar panels. They're 375 watts each, monocrystalline split cell. We did this installation four years ago, just before COVID started. These are 5 of the new panels. There's another 21 on the flat roof up there. These are 440 watt panels, split cell, again, monocrystalline, using the solar buckets with ballast. Okay, so here we are. It's a bit of a log cabin. It's habitable inside, very nice actually. These are 10 of the original panels we put in 4 years ago with the other 8 I showed you. These are 375 watt panels as well. So we've integrated the old panels into the new system. Okay, so there are 12, there's 4 over there, there's 8 here. These are gel tubular plate batteries. So they were very good lead acid batteries when they went in 4.5 years ago. They've obviously been upgraded with lithium iron phosphate. The advantage of lithium iron phosphate over a gel battery is you'll get around 5-ish years life out of these batteries. With the lithium iron phosphate, you're looking at least 15 to 18 years. Okay, so here we are in the plant room. Originally we had a 5 kVA inverter here, and these 2 solar controllers doing the original arrays were here on a piece of wood. I'm sure Alex will cut into this video, the original video, so you can see what the old system looked like. So what have we done, what have we changed? This new solar controller up here controls the 21 panels on the flat roof on top of the new house that's being built. We've got 2 15 kVA inverters. These give you a combination of about 24 kilowatts of power output out of the batteries which are in here. So these 2 are working in parallel on a single phase. So they'll give you the same power output as you get off a normal grid connection, 100 amp or 80 amp supply. Okay, so in here we've built an insulated battery box. If you come in a bit closer, you'll see there's 4 lithium batteries here. On the other side here, underneath this lid here, we've got another 6. So that makes 10 times 5 kilowatt hours. A kilowatt hour is 1 unit of electrical storage. So in total, there is a 50 kilowatt hour storage capacity. Most households use between 10 and 25 units a day, depending on how many people are in the house and obviously what equipment they've got. Here we had the original colour control screen. You'll see that it's showing what the total loads are. Like you've seen in many other videos, it's showing you the solar watt output currently. That's because the batteries are 100% charged. Basically, the solar panels could generate a lot more power at the moment, but there's nowhere for the power to go. So the solar controllers, the MPPTs, multi-power point trackers, are throttling back the solar, literally putting the brakes on the solar panels until you turn a load on. Then the system takes its foot off the brake and allows the available power to come through. So what have we got here? These are DC isolators. So these 3 here do the 3 strings of 7. A string of 7 panels is 7 electrically connected. That's what you call a string. So these do the 3 strings of 7 up on the roof. This DC isolator here does the 5 that you saw on the ground out the back there, the new 5. So all of these isolators from they're identical panels. This isolator here does the will isolate the power coming in off the panels from the shack roof you've just seen a minute ago. And this DC isolator here isolates the 8 panels you've seen on the ground outside. Okay, so what we've got in these inverters and solar controllers, you have intelligent switches. Okay, so in these you have what's called a common, a normally open, and normally closed. Normally open means the switch is normally open. Normally closed means the switch is normally closed. So depending on how you want to activate that relay, i.e. what does that do? So if it's in the normally open position, I can just get this back in. If it's in the normally open position, once the batteries achieve 100%, you can close the switch or turn something on effectively. So what we've done here, you'll see this little white cable here. This goes along here into there, and then there's an armoured Ethernet cable which goes back to the house over there. What this is going to activate, this is going to activate the immersion heaters in the hot water tank. So like I mentioned earlier, when the solar panels are throttled back and the brake is on, it will open, it will close the switch, turn the immersion heaters on, the 2 3 kilowatt immersion heaters in the hot water tank, and then the solar panel, unusable solar power will be going then into the hot water tanks. You're actually able to utilize that power. So this way you intelligently use the power that's not being able to be stored. Again, this is an EV car charger. It hasn't been installed yet because the property is not finished, but again, it's a Victron EV charging station. And again, this will integrate with the Victron system, communicate with it, and obviously only allow power into the EV when certain conditions on the batteries are met. So by having one of these off-grid, you're not going to flatten your EV. It's only going to put the additional or available juice that's there, thus keeping your major off-grid batteries charged to keep your house running. So we've obviously got DC going into the inverters. On the output, you've got AC here. These go to your mains isolator. If you turn that off, that will turn all the power off in the system. We've then got two what are called switch fuse disconnectors. You have a cartridge fuse in there, BS88. One of them goes into this distribution board here. This powers this plant room, powers the shed over there with the generator, and also sends power to the shack behind you. The other one, which the cartridge fuse is taken out of, is this big 35mm cable. This powers the house over there. Obviously the fuses are there to protect the cables. So this armoured cable goes out to the new property you've seen being constructed over there. Okay, so this is a borehole. This is obviously taking water out of the ground for filtering it. You'll have your tank here with water ready to go. So as soon as you open your taps or you want to use the hose, the water's there instantly available. Okay, so here's the generator. This is obviously backup for the winter. This will kick in if the batteries do get low. It's a quality built British machine. It's got a Perkins engine on it. I think it's McCulty alternator, so that's a European alternator. This is what you call a deep sea relay unit. So at the moment, the red light's above the white button, so it's in auto. So if the system from the shed we've just looked at sends a signal to this, the generator would start, send power back down the armoured cable to the shed. The inverters would take that power and use it to charge the batteries. Okay, so we were talking about the intelligent switch to turn on the hot water. Here's the other end of it with the relay contact switches. So when it sends a signal, it turns these on. This will then, the electrician will wire in the immersion heaters to the bottom of here with some electrical cables going off to the hot water tank, and that will turn the power on or off. Okay, so here we are up on the roof. Beautiful location and scenery, as you can see, somewhere in Surrey in a woodland. Here we've got 21 panels. I discussed it in the shed. 3 strings of 7, so you've got 7, 7 and 7. So they're all individual solar arrays. So these are pointing east-west because we've got 2 arrays that are already virtually south facing. So these will catch the morning, the afternoon sun, and obviously, as you can see in the summer, they're also catching the midday sunshine as well. We are about 12 o'clock. This is a Van der Valk system. It's a very good system for flat roof. There's no piercing on the roof. It's actually a ballast system. Normally you get aluminium frames on solar mounting equipment. This is galvanized steel to add to the weight for the ballast. Underneath there is, I'll just show you right here. You'll see there's slabs. If you just get in here and have a film under there, you'll see if you look right down, that way, you'll see there's a ballast system. Now the computer software works out exactly the right amount of weight, including the weight of the panels, the steel, and you'll see by these like rubber matted feet that all the metal sits on those, so you don't pierce or scratch the roof. This is an EPDM roof, so it's for a flat roof. So this system is designed, obviously, in high winds and that it doesn't take it off like an umbrella or a kite. Over here, you've got what's called a snorkel. I don't need to tell you why it's called a snorkel. It hasn't been welded onto the roof yet. The roofer is going to come and do that. Put a piece of EDPM around it. Put in your various silicones, screw it into the roof. This maintains, obviously the water can't get in the pipe work, and you don't get any leakages going back into the roof. But yeah, so in total at the 1, 2, 3, so we've got how many arrays? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 independent arrays of solar, all on their own solar tracker, which means they're all independent arrays. You've nearly got 20 kilowatts of solar here. So for an off-grid property of this size, this is probably nearly ideal system. Obviously, the more panels you can get, the better it's going to work in early spring, late autumn, and obviously winter periods, which is where the additional panels come into play. On a day like today, you're always going to be generating more than what you can use in off-grid, but it's the spring, autumn time and winter where when it's rainy or cloudy or really overcast, the general rule of thumb is in the UK is that you'd be generating around 8 to 15% of your maximum solar arrays. If you've got 20 kilowatts of solar, we take 10% of that, you're going to be generating 2,000 watts virtually all day. So 2,000 watts times 10 hours is 20 units or 20 kilowatt hours of electric. And as I said earlier in the video, most households use between 10 and 25 kilowatt hours of electric. So yeah, this lovely system, beautiful location, and perfect for an off-grid solar array.